In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Mr Shahid, subject specialist in English at Divisional Public School and College, Sahiwal.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How are you all, dear students? I hope you will be fit and fine. A very warm welcome to DPS Digital class. Dear students, please stay at home. May you remain safe and sound in this pandemic situation. Today, we are going to study present perfect tense, including its structure, usage, and conversion. First, let us see the possible learning outcomes. Identify the verb in a sentence. Second, identify the tense used in a sentence. Thirdly, write sentences using present perfect tense. And finally, convert affirmative sentences into negative and interrogative sentences. Dear students, what is the difference between two columns? Before starting the lesson, dear students, let us look some examples. We can clearly see in the example number 1, the action has just completed. The past participle has been used after auxiliary verb. On the other hand, in column number 2, example number 1 shows that action completed in past. Past form has been used after subject. In column number 1, example number 2 shows that action has completed recently. In column number 1, example number 2 shows that action has completed recently. Completion of action tells us about present perfect tense, but in second column, the example number 2 shows that action completed in past. Example number 3 in both columns does the same thing. The action that completed in past represents past indefinite tense, and the action that recently completed shows present perfect tense. Both the present perfect and the simple past are used to talk about finished action. The difference is the present perfect indicates some connection with present. The difference is the present perfect indicates some connection with the present. The simple past does not indicate a connection with the present. Dear students, we are going to introduce present perfect tense. This tense can be used to talk about an action that happened in the past. When it happened, it is not very important or unknown. Present perfect tense can also be used to talk about an action that started in the past and continues in the present. We really want to emphasize how long the action has been happening, and finally we use this tense to talk about recent action. Let us talk about first usage of present perfect tense. We can use the present perfect tense with for and since. Let us take a look at some examples. I have studied in this school for 4 years. Secondly, the house stood there since 1980. Here something began in the past and has lasted up to the present time. We use for to say how long this period is. We use since to say when the period began, like since 1980. Let us move towards the next usage. We use the present perfect tense to indicate completed activities in the immediate past with just. He has just finished his task. Just means a short time ago. Just is to describe an action that recently started. We notice here that we use the word just between have and past participle. This shows that action happened very recently. Let us move towards the next usage. The present perfect tense can be used to talk about an action that happened in the past. This tense is used to express past action whose time is not given. In these examples, we see things as happening in the past but having a result in the present. Dear students, the form of the present perfect tense is has or have plus the past participle of the main verb. I, we, you, they and plural noun we follow with have. After that we use the past participle of the verb. For he, she, it and singular noun we follow with has, then the past participle of the main verb. The clear image of the formation of the present perfect tense has been shown in next slide. Dear students, look at these examples. Sentences with the present perfect. First element is have or has depending on the subject of the verb is conjugated with the second element is the past participle of the verb, which is usually formed by the adding ed or d to the verb's root. For example, walk, clean, type, etc. Although English does have quite a few verbs that have irregular past participle, for example, eaten, done, etc. Now come to the sentence structure of present perfect tense. First, let us discuss affirmative sentences. Before I start to tell you about the structure of affirmative sentences, let me first clarify what is meaning of affirmative and what are affirmative sentences. Affirmative sentences are those sentences that make statement, not a negative sentence or a question. Now come to its structure. We can clearly see in sentence structure of affirmative sentences. Firstly, there comes subject plus auxiliary verb has or have plus past participle plus object. Object only in that case if there is any object present in sentence structure. Here are some examples for further clarification. She has washed the clothes. In this sentence, she is subject, has is auxiliary verb, washed is past participle and clothes is object. Remaining examples follow the same structure as we can see in the sentence number 2, 3 and 4. Now students, come to the structure of negative sentences. Before we start reading the structure of negative sentence, it should be told that negative sentences are those sentences which show refusal or denial of some things. Students, now come to the structure. There comes subject, then auxiliary verb, has or have, then not, then past participle of main verb, then object and then full stop. Always remember, put the full stop at the end of sentence. See the examples for further clarification. Here are 3 examples we can analyze after studying these 3 examples. He, she and you are subject, has and have are auxiliary verb, washed, combed, taken are past participle of main verb, breakfast, hair and clothes are object. Now dear students, we will move towards the interrogative sentences. As you know that interrogative sentences are those sentences which ask questions. Now come to its structure. As we know, interrogative sentences of this tense start with auxiliary verb has or have. Then subject comes, then past participles, then object, and we put question mark at the end of the sentence. In simple way, we can say the interrogative is formed by interchanging the position of the subject and the auxiliary verb. The method for WH questions remains the same, just questions word comes before the auxiliary verb. When we use the present perfect tense in speaking, we usually contract the subject and auxiliary verb. You can see the examples in the slides. Dear students, some key words help you make present perfect tense, such as since indicates specific point in the past when the action started, or shows the length of time. Already indicates the action before now. Not yet indicates an action not before now. Never tells an action not done any time, and ever tells that action done at any time. These keywords help us make sentences of the present perfect tense. It is suitable for students to learn the forms of the regular and irregular verb, because for making the sentences of present perfect tense, the students must be able to use past participle form of the verb correctly. There is a list of irregular verbs. Their past participle forms need your special attention for accuracy. Now comes the conversion exercise. Do as directed. You can get help from the given tips. You will send the solution to your subject teacher through class WhatsApp group. Here is another exercise of conversion. Do as directed. You can get help from the given tips. Send the solution to your class WhatsApp page. Now the recapitulation of today's learning. We use the present perfect tense to express an action that began in the past and is continuing in the present. To express an action that has just been completed. To show past events whose time is not given, use past participle after has or have. Now it is a time for homework assignment. Dear students, write 5 sentences using present perfect tense. Thank you and have a cheerful day ahead.